Welcome to Live Breathe Film, episode 126. You're here with Doug and Murph. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're revealing which films we believe general audiences are most anticipating during the remainder of 2025 by conducting our fall box office draft. Then we'll briefly touch upon where the summer box office stands as we head into Labor Day weekend before we do a full recap of the season / officially crown our latest box office pool victor in our next episode. As always, a friendly reminder before we begin, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to Live Breathe Film wherever you choose to listen to your favorite podcasts. We appreciate all your support. All right, let's dive right into it, Doug. The fall box office draft. This is a big one. I guess we should note the last episode we did record with Corey was the fall box office draft of 2024 last year. So it's a pretty crazy full circle moment, I guess, year later.
Yeah, it's wild to be back, and that's been a year.
Yeah. But we felt like that should be noted. And this is our third head-to-head matchup. Because of that, since that was his last one. So we did the winter spring earlier this year where I won. We did the summer one where, spoiler alert, you won. And now this is essentially the grudge match of 2025. We'll reevaluate how we do these in 2026 after kind of going over how we thought they all went. Yeah, we can dive into the stipulations and all the usual rules and whatnot. If you want to actually do that, you're more than welcome.
All right. So for the fall box office draft, similar rules to previous drafts. There's going to be we both agreed to a $50 buy-in. That means the winner essentially gets $50 with the two of us.
Yeah, gift card to the movies.
Since
this is a movie podcast.
Yeah, gift card to the movies that you have to. I'll try to do a better job of remembering to use when I go to the movies. The films that are eligible for us to pick for this draft, we decided to use the period of September 5th of this year to December 31st. So any movie coming out during those two periods is fair game to be picked. As we've done in prior drafts, we decided to do, there is a stipulation for this draft. The stipulation is Avatar, Fire and Ash, Wicked for Good, or Zootopia 2. Murph and I can only pick one each of that movie, meaning whichever movie one of us doesn't pick is out of the draft. We did that because we felt like whoever picked in the second, third position would essentially get two monster movies that there just wasn't enough money with the other movies in order to make it back.
Yeah, they'd have the first person, whoever drafted second would have to do make terrible decisions for basically the rest of the draft.
Yeah, we decided it was just too big of a leg up that it just wouldn't be fair. You essentially win it by the time the third pick is over.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works. We've had mixed results with stipulations. This seemed like a pretty good one. I don't think we've ever done anything like this before.
No, this is the first time a movie's been excluded, especially a big movie. But it's interesting because it's three big movies, and I mean, they all have their pros and cons, when we can get to that after the two of us draft our first picks, just to talk about why the other one didn't get picked and what we were potentially thinking. But yeah, I thought we both agreed on this stipulation yesterday. I thought it was a pretty fair one and unique compared to ones we've done before, versus like cutting a box office number in half or giving less draft picks, whatever it may be. So yeah, we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, definitely. The only weird thing is going to be there's going to be one of the top 3 biggest movies, potentially the biggest movie of the fall, may not be on either of our on our list. So
which may make us look both very stupid or one of us very stupid, depending on how things go.
Yep. So let's get into the draft order. So we did our coin flip that we typically do before the draft to see who goes first. I won the coin flip. I deferred to Murph. So Murph will be picking first. I will be picking second. Typical snake order. So like we just discussed, Murph will get the first pick. I will get the second and third. And then it'll just snake. It continues to snake back and forth as we go through each 10 of our picks. And then we used a list of, as far as the list of movies go, we used Wikipedia lists that Murph put together, a film's scheduled to come out within that period. There's a ton of movies on here. Realistically, there will be a number of movies, because we only have 10 picks each, that we won't pick, that we'll probably talk about at the end of, why we didn't pick them.
Yeah. And I guess the only other thing to note about what makes the fall draft always a little bit different than the other ones is the fact that some movies open limited before the end of the year. But if they are opening limited, as long as they open limited before the end of the year, we're counting them. The money that they make when they go wide in early 2026 will count towards this draft. So we might not have a winner determined until the end of January. We could be running into our next draft and talking about that one while still not having a winner in this one. I don't think we've ever actually had that case in the past,
No.
but it's always something that can potentially happen. And it's unique to this one, meaning this season.
Yeah, that would be awesome if we wound up in that situation, because that'd mean it's a super close draft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would have to be very close, because I mean, you're not going to see like a massive movie come out typically in January that expanded after opening limited in the previous year, at least not in a long time. The last time I can remember was American Sniper. And that was in like 2014, where it ended up being like the highest grossing movie of that year, but all of the money came the following year when it opened in January. And the awards players back in the day that used to expand, but that's kind of not as big a deal anymore. So, yeah, I think that kind of covers everything that we wanted to talk about before getting into things. So, since I have the number 1 pick, I will start. Doug did predict that I would pick Avatar, Fire, and Ash. So I'm going to pick Avatar, Fire, and Ash.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer to me as the number one of the 3. I could see why you probably there's I think you've talked about, maybe this was just trying to get in my head, but
I didn't say anything to try to get in your head, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm waiting until after you do your pick to talk about my pick. Just
Okay.
because I could think that I don't want to sway how you go with your next one, because again, one movie is getting left out off this list, off our picks. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. So then I'll just jump into my
Cool.
second
And then we'll
overall
talk about
pick.
the 3 biggest movies and the one that got left out.
So I hate that I'm going to have to do this, but I feel like it's my only chance to counter Avatar. But I think there was a ton of risk. But I've been giving this a lot of thought, and I've got to go Zootopia too. It's the only
You dirty dog.
It's the only way.
Yesterday, you made it sound like we shouldn't even be including, like, Zootopia should be the movie immediately eliminated and not even like let it be in the running and that be the stipulation.
Yeah, I kept going back to the Inside Out numbers, and the Zootopia numbers, and it was just, I mean, it could not Zootopia or Inside Out could be like definitely an outlier. Um, but I'm worried that Wicked for Good is gonna cap out closer to where the first one was in like the $400 million range. Um, and I think this it's Zootopia 2 actually has the potential to get to 700. So I think if something was clearly, if you were making bad decisions and you picked Wicked for Good, I probably would have. Well, no, I definitely would have won Avatar. I wanted Avatar. I don't know why I
I
let
know
you
you
have.
wanted Avatar. There's no doubt like you were going to take Avatar if you had number one.
I just felt like Zootopia is the only thing I had. If in a second place is the only movie that could potentially give Avatar a run for its money. So, but I'm really concerned about the risk because it's an animated movie.
That's how we talked about it yesterday. It's the risky pick.
It's
of
risky.
the three.
I just think it's got the upside that I need in order to compete with an Avatar. So I don't know. After I gave you the first pick, I was like, I should have just kept it for myself and taken Avatar.
This is exactly how the summer draft went, but in reverse.
But I already did it, so I wasn't gonna be like, never mind. I'm trying to try to take it back. So I just was like, I'll live with it. But yeah, I should have kept Avatar in hindsight because I should have realized that was going to force me to pick Zootopia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I don't know. You seem not. You never. Yeah.
I was kind of hoping, to be honest, I was kind of hoping you were going to take Zootopia because I thought you were going to maybe be swayed by the like Inside Out numbers and how well that did for you. That I could kind of still get Avatar in the second position.
Yeah. Like I said yesterday when we were coming up with the stipulation, I can see any one of these movies at number one or any one of these movies at number three. The reason being, and now we can talk like more freely about them. With Avatar,
I mean, are the most strategic picks that you and I just made on this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like you said, this could be a make or break for us because it's going to be hard to crawl out of the hole if Avatar does 700 something $million, and
it's not going to, because and my thinking here was Avatar: The Way of Water didn't make sense. It made 680 million.
80.
That was with 16 years of, or not 16 years now. That was with 13 years of buildup to get to that sequel. So you're not going to top it. Like, it would be shocking to me if like this next one turns out to be like a breakout sequel from the movie released 3 years prior. Most likely it will have the downturn that the middle film in a Star Wars trilogy had, or something like that. But I mean, I think it's guaranteed. I think it's going to make 600 million, or the high, or 500 million. Like, acknowledge what?
I mean, I don't think you thought Avatar 2 was going to make anywhere near $680 million when that was coming out, because
we'd have to go back to that podcast.
But I think part of the reasoning was like it had been so long that audiences even still care about Avatar. So I mean, now it's been proven that they do. I mean,
yeah, I mean that's an argument. I could see it potentially make more, but I think it's more likely it makes less.
It's also got a great spot similar to Zootopia. That's kind of another reason why I think Zootopia is like, I don't think they're going to be battling against each other, but I think they're going to it's a different audience, but they've got Zootopia and Avatar are like 4 days apart on release date.
No, Zootopia is like almost 4 weeks prior.
Is it?
Zootopia is a Thanksgiving release.
I thought Zootopia was a
Avatar is
Christmas.
a Christmas release.
I thought they were both Christmas releases.
No, which is good for you because that would be way too many screens being taken up by Avatar. Disney's not putting their two
Yeah, that's
400-pound
true.
gorillas up against one another.
That's true. Although
It's still going to
I
be
don't.
making holiday legs, which is
Oh
always
no,
a good thing.
Wicked is the one that comes out next to.
Wicked and Zootopia open at like the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
That's what I was thinking of.
with Zootopia, pros are it's going like the first one was was huge. It's had massive numbers on Disney Plus throughout the years. I mean, it's like a decade-old movie, so it's got that Inside Out, Moana, like long delayed sequel type of situation. It should probably be. It's more it's more leaning for both boys and girls than Moana, which helps as far as box office numbers and comparing it to like Frozen as well. I mean, I think the first Utopia made like about 350. It's this going to definitely do much more than 350. Um, it just about how high it goes. We talked about Inside Out. I mean, that made over 600 million. Moana made over what? Moana was like 450, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah.
Frozen 2 was like 480. I mean, should make more than 500. Inside Out is a better comparison because Pixar is more leaning towards
This-
everyone versus
yeah,
princess films.
the sequel is about just as or the time period between the first and the second ones around the same.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's going to resonate the same way that Inside Out would. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a big unknown, right? And the stupid little trailers that they played so far look horrible.
So the second trailer, thankfully, is like the full length trailer is certainly a lot better than that terrible teaser trailer.
Okay, I don't think I've seen the full length
Yeah,
one.
no, there's been like a story trailer, and
Okay,
it's
well that's good.
definitely like it's a lot better than what they were shoving out into audiences first like impression. Because
Yeah,
that was teaser was terrible.
I really just
Well,
think this has a higher ceiling than Wicked. That was really my main.
yeah, and all right, so we got to talk about Wicked. We
Which
both
I'm
left it.
upset that
We
no
both
one's
left it
got
out.
Wicked.
It was the biggest film last our draft last year, which is crazy now that we're leaving the sequel off. It upset Moana, which we were not expecting. I don't think I drafted it until like the 7th or 8th pick. But again, I think this one likely has a cap. I mean, from what I've heard, part twos typically do better than part ones. Granted, they're usually of longer series, like Harry Potter. I'm thinking of Twilight, Hunger Game. No, Hunger Games actually was a decrease. But I've heard Act One of Wicked is better than Act Two. Like has the more popular songs and everything like that.
But two's got the Wizard of Oz
Two has
factor.
Wizard of Oz, so that's a pro. Um,
And then it's been out. Some audiences found it after, just like a lot of movies, they found it after it hit, streaming and all that. So
yeah, and streaming was another reason. Universal is the one studio that will throw their stuff on video on demand before, like, in like 30 days, no matter no matter how much money it's making. Like Wicked will be on streaming. We'll be able to rent or buy or whatever by Christmas or by New Year's. During the holidays, it will be there. So that makes me a little uncomfortable. Zootopia, on the other hand, will not be on anything until sometime in 2026, despite the fact that it's opening the same time as Wicked. So I think that is definitely a positive for Zootopia, where there's a negative for Wicked.
yeah, I mean,
I could see Wicked potentially make 100 million more than Wicked Part
sure.
One. But I can also see it make these like very, very similar numbers, or maybe $50 million less. I mean, it's going to make over 400 million. It just exactly how high it goes.
Yeah, I just have concerns about it being able to match Avatar. If I had been smarter, I would have just taken Avatar and made you sweat it out between those two. Although I think you
And
probably would have.
if I was
Yeah.
smarter last time, I wouldn't have been hoping for the number 2 pick. I mean, this time we didn't. We let the winner of the coin toss pick what they wanted. But had I won last, I did win the coin toss last, or you won, which made me get the number 2 pick. But we were both rooting to lose the coin toss because we both wanted the number 2 pick. In retrospect, I should have hoped for the number 1 pick because I think things would have turned out differently. I'm sure you still would have won, but it wouldn't have been as big of a route as it turned out to be. But all right, so 3 movies off the board, despite only having 2 picks. We'll keep track of Wicked and talk about Wicked as its own entity throughout tracking the fall box office season, just to see how things go between the 2 of us, and if again both of us or one of us don't look that great for skipping on it. But yeah, let's move on to your other wraparound pick before it comes back to me.
We'll find out if that's true, but I guess I'm just kind of hoping. I'm hoping that it can do similar numbers to the first one. Is kind of why I'm going there, and I just think probably.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
probably being
we
biased.
all, like, if we all screwed up back in the fall of 2023 when none of us drafted it.
Yeah, I think I'm probably a little bit biased by, it was just at Halloween Horror Nights,
Yeah.
and it seemed like people
How
are
was that
still.
house, by the way?
It was okay. I mean, the movie itself isn't very scary, so the characters just jumping out and stuff doesn't really do anything. But it looked a lot like the movie.
By the way, do I have to worry about you drafting Terrifier 4 in the future now that you went into that house and caught up on those movies?
It's probably not the fact that I've seen the movies. It's that the box office continues to grow exponentially with every sequel.
Corey was
And
right.
Four is the last of the trilogy.
Yeah.
I guess it's not really a trilogy then.
Not really a trilogy, but it's like,
well, it kind of is because 2,
the
3,
story
and
feels like a trilogy for 2 through 4.
the Sienna arc, I guess,
Yeah,
will
exactly.
end, and that started with Terrifier 2. Yeah, I mean, this could be a really boneheaded move because there's other movies that are probably more reliable, but it just seemed like people are still nuts for whatever reason about this franchise, and so I'm just kind of banking on that.
Yeah, the only thing I found weird was that it's coming out in December versus October. But as we saw last year, Nosferatu opened in December, and that had no problem nearly making $100 million. Horror movies can make money in December. I mean, and Five Nights at Freddy's is the type of movie where it made the majority of its money on opening weekend. Like, it had an 80 million opening weekend. So it really doesn't matter when you put it out. The crowd is going to be there immediately.
Yeah, it's just a matter of if the crowd is still as eager to check it out this time. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got my next 2 in mind. One can be beyond boneheaded, and counteract what you think could be boneheaded, with your pick.
I know what that is. Go ahead.
I don't think you're going to know what it is, but I'm going to go with the less boneheaded move first. The movie I thought you were going to draft, I'm going to go with
Conjuring.
first. Going to draft Tron Ares. The reason being, went back into your playbook and of some mistakes I made this past summer and looked at box office of like the previous entry, and I forgot that movie made $180 million. And this is 15 years later, so there is like more. it's not like they were like threw a sequel out immediately after. Tron 2 came out, what, 20 or 30 something years after? Yeah, about, let's see how bad my math is right now. Like 28 years after the first movie. But 15 years ain't too shabby. So it kind of feels like a legacy sequel again in its own right, despite the fact that Jeff Bridges is back. Could be a terrible pick in the fact that I don't think people really have the greatest affection for like the series. It just seems like they're visually cool. They have good soundtracks. I think IMAX can help this one.
Yeah. I think it could
And
be
the ride at Disney World existing now is something that's kind of made the series, I guess, put in front of people's faces for the last few years. So, I mean, I don't know how it's ultimately going to do, but I did think you were going to take that.
So it looks cool. My two reasons for not taking it is the Tron Legacy, which you're referring to, that did really well, came out a long time after the other Tron movies, so I was kind of thinking maybe there was some pent up demand there. And then there's just like Tron Legacy doesn't seem like it aged that well in the cultural minds. Like I don't think anyone views that as like necessarily a good movie.
I mean, I think the Daft Punk soundtrack is like the most popular thing about the movie.
Yeah, and then the last thing was just like the Jared Leto effect.
Yeah, I don't love the Jared Leto aspect. He's clearly not a bankable actor, and I don't know why they keep putting him in lead roles. He's a creep, and yeah.
But yeah, I wrote on my sheet 100+ million potential, and then I put like bomb alert next to it of just like I thought it had bomb potential, and that's the only reason why I stayed away from it. But
yeah, I mean, this could be a terrible pick. But I'm going with the even crazier pick with the next one. So I might just be blowing it for me based on being too safe in the summer and now going like outlandish this time. But for the next one, I don't like the fact that we haven't seen a trailer for it, a poster for it, or anything like that. But I'm going all in on Jack Black this year and taking Anaconda. Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's not a. I was probably going to take it later just because of the lack of trailer. But it's not a dumb. I don't think it's dumb. You want to explain more about?
Yeah.
So there,
it sounds like
just going off of like chicken jockey.
I'm going off of. I mean, obviously, just having the recent success of Minecraft didn't hurt, but also thinking back at like Jumanji, like reviving a property from the '90s. He was in that one as well. Sony also ran a killer campaign putting that out. That movie made over $400 million. Opens very similar time frame. Granted, I think this is going to be an R-rated horror comedy versus a PG-13 like all quadrants video game related movie. But I mean, you got Jack Black and Paul Rudd. I mean, the concept sounds intriguing. That it's like people wanting to remake their favorite movie from childhood. So it's kind of got that like throwbacky vibe to, or acknowledgement of the first movie without really feeling like a direct sequel, which Jumanji kind of had a similar effect in the fact that they turned it into a video game movie versus a board game, and it was a completely new cast, but they were acknowledging like events of the last one. But yeah, that was, I guess, more of a legacy sequel than this being more of like a meta film. But yeah, I mean, I like the fact that it opens around the holidays. Nothing around the holidays is a similar type of movie. And yeah, I think it could be. I think it's the comedy with the best potential to break out, because if a comedy breaks out, it has to be in relation to another genre. which this is in the fact that it's got that horror vibe to it. But yeah, don't love the fact that we haven't seen a trailer yet. But I mean, we just had Mortal Kombat 2 get pushed back, and that had a trailer, which I think we probably would have drafted by now had that movie been released in this fall. But I feel like this has potential breakout potential. So that's why I went with it.
Yeah. Yeah, the lack of trailer was concerning to me. Where I was like, is this movie even coming out in the fall?
Yeah, I'll be very disappointed if it doesn't.
And then the other thing that kind of concerned me a little bit was actually that it was coming out in the holidays, because I was like, is it going to just get pushed out with, between Avatar and taking up screens and Zootopia, and like, is it just kind of like?
Yeah, I'm not so much worried about that, because I remember when, what was it, Sherlock Holmes made over $200 million up opening directly against Avatar. So like the holidays are pretty bountiful, where there's chance, like Jumanji opened up right against The Last Jedi, and both of those did great. So I think there's room if the movies don't directly overlap with one another. But it's understandable why you would say that. I mean, it's going to be limited with screens, because obviously Avatar and Disney will make sure that it completely overwhelms exhibitors with screen counts and everything like that, and premium formats. So now we're up to you with 2 picks in a row.
Yeah, so for my first pick, I'm going to go The Conjuring Last Rites.
Okay.
Continue with the horror. Conjuring movies tend to do well. And so for that reason, and this is being billed as the last of the Conjuring movies, I believe.
Yes,
although you know how that goes.
So I mean, it's definitely going to be the last of the mainline franchise. There will be more Conjuring universe movies for sure.
Yeah, so I just kind of feel like I can see this one.
The series is built on these 2 actors, so
yeah. So I can see this movie making like $100 million. It is coming out in that Halloween time frame, unlike Five Nights at Freddy's. So this feels like the movie
comes out this week.
Big. Okay, I didn't realize it was coming out this quickly.
Which is exciting. I mean, it's a kickoff film. Warner Brothers owns that first week, that first Friday of September.
I did read that it was selling pretty well, or
it is. Yeah, no, it's got good. Well. It should have like a $35 million opening weekend or something like that so far, based on tracking, and it could certainly go up.
Seemed like it might go up from there, so that's kind of what played into my thought process there.
I mean, and it's always great to be like the first horror movie of the season. It and plenty of other Conjuring movies like The Nun 2 kind of test. Even Beetlejuice 2, which was its own. Obviously, it's not in the Conjuring world or anything, but another Warner Brothers semi-horror type of film that opened in that post Labor Day weekend, so like it and a lot of the Conjuring movies. And Warner Brothers is on just a hell of a run right now as well.
And I'm channeling my Corey by having Five Nights at Freddy's and The Conjuring both under my belt this early.
Yeah. You are. You certainly are. So what are you thinking for your second pick in the wraparound? You have an idea, or are you thinking it over?
Yeah, I'm just going to go with the next one on my list, which
makes sense.
Could be a big mistake. But it's risky, but I feel like there's some reward potential here that I want to try to I just want it.
Okay. Makes sense.
But I'm not in love with this pick. This is actually like a really there's
I'm excited to
movies
hear
that I don't. All right, I'm picking the SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants.
it. I was gonna pick it next, so
Okay, I I don't like the fact that the last SpongeBob movie came out like a decade ago.
yeah.
And I'm not sure if the audience is still there
Well,
for
it didn't
SpongeBob.
because there was one that came out in summer of 2020. So obviously we don't have box office numbers for it.
Yeah, I don't know if SpongeBob was obviously very popular at one point in time. I'm not sure if that popularity is still there. I don't talk to anyone within that age category to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
But
but
it's
I
weird.
figured like
The second one did way better than the first one. Like I was
yes,
looking at the numbers for them.
the water one,
Yeah.
the one that came out in 2015 or somewhere around
Mhm.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, that did really well. I figured like worst case, it's probably like a $60 million movie. It's um, best case, it's
I
over
mean, it's
100.
going to do better than that just because it's opening in the holidays.
It's another
So
holiday movie.
yeah, so it's guaranteed to make money.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I don't know. I don't feel great about this movie, but like we're in this weird place now where there's movies that I think will at least make 50, but
We got all, yeah, definitely. We got a lot that are still going to make $50 million.
I don't know how high they'll go. But yeah, it was just the next one on my list. That's why I picked it. I wanted it, and it kind of feels like a little bit of a risk, but
No, I think it's solid.
whatever.
I mean, it's slightly risky, I guess, because we don't know what the last one would have done in theaters had it COVID not occurred. But I feel like this is a character that has remained in the mainstream for um, 20, like over 25 years now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a safe movie to make over $100 million for sure.
I hope you
Um,
don't pick the next two on my list because
I doubt I picked both of them. Maybe I
yeah,
probably will pick one of them.
that'll be make it really hard for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not thrilled that he just took the movie that I was going to take with my next pick. Um,
Yep,
but
this is
and
the
I did want
staple of
I
the
wanted a like straight up kids movie at one point, and not getting that. Um, so like based on what we've had so far, I don't have a straight up kids movie. Um, so I would have liked to have gotten SpongeBob because I thought that was the safest of all of them outside of Zootopia. Uh, so all right, yeah, I'll go with the two of that. I may regret two R-rated movies.
okay.
I'm going with The Running Man with my first pick.
Yep, I like that.
Um, I like the fact that it is IP, but not IP that like is stale at all because the Schwarzenegger movie was in the late '80s. Glenn Powell has been on a solid run since Maverick. Between that, Anyone But You, and Twisters, um, Edgar Wright is looking like he's in Baby Driver mode. That made over 100, just a little bit over $100 million. I think it's looks like a timely movie. So yeah, those were kind of all my reasons for taking that there. Um, and then I'm also going to take this one. I'm nervous about it based on franchise history, and the fact that this would have to do so
Damn
much
it.
better than anyone that's happened before.
I
But
wanted it.
I'm taking Predator Badlands.
Ugh.
Um, hey man, you wanted it, you should have taken it. I would have taken SpongeBob. I wanted SpongeBob more than this one.
I wanted it in this part of the wraparound.
Yeah. It often works like that, but I think it's got potential to break out. This one
I
looks
agree.
a lot more fun than other ones. They're coming off the high of Prey, which is like one of the biggest movies in Hulu's history, and that movie should have played in theaters. So I think like the awareness of the franchise is at like an all-time high, and like the since the original, and the I guess overall excitement about the IP is at an all-time high. Also, Alien just had a solid theatrical run with Romulus last year. That was a like $100 million movie. So Predator has never been on the same level as Alien, but this I'm getting strong vibes from the trailer so far. And again, yeah, I feel like this one looks unique more than like a bunch of the other ones that kind of made around 50 million. That seems to be where the series goes unless it crosses over with Alien. But I mean, I don't know what the first one made. I want to say like 80 million, but that was Schwarzenegger in his basically his prime. Or
Yeah.
even that was only $59 million. This movie series, like unless other than Alien vs Predator, is like a $50 to $60 million franchise. So
I mean, I
I'm
wanted
real,
it, so
yeah.
I'm with you. I think it has potential to be like one of the better movies. The trailer I think looks really solid. It's a good idea with the head that
Uh,
he walks around with. Um, and
yeah,
then
it looks
the
fun.
Alien
Like Elle
Earth,
Fanning
you
looks
get
fun, like play in that synth
yeah,
mode.
yeah. You got Romulus did pretty well. Um, Granted, not as well as you want this movie to do, but Alien Earth is getting people like
Dude,
I
if
don't know. I
this movie
just
does Romulus numbers, I'm delighted. Romulus made 105 million.
okay. I didn't realize
Baby
it.
Driver made 107 million. I was looking for those two numbers when it
Yeah,
came to picking Running
I
Man
don't think that's
and
I don't
Predator.
think that's unrealistic. I think the floor is probably like it performs like a regular Predators movie, but I think
Yes.
it has potential for $100 million to be $100 million movie.
Yeah, that's kind of where my line of thinking was as well. The floor is consistent, so um
Yep.
okay.
No, I like that a lot. I mean, this is like
Yeah, I mean if you want to do a trade, I mean I'll take SpongeBob and you can take Predator. I'm totally open to that. But
no, it's just I mean it's funny the mainstay of our drafts, right? We're like you're usually thinking in the same line as each other.
yeah, no, we're usually on the same page to a degree. There's rare cases where we're like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. But yeah, more often than not, we're like, God damn it, got my pick, and that's what makes it different from the drafts with Corey, where he
Yes.
where he would throw many. He was the monkey or the thorn in our side, the monkey wrench. But all right, back to you. You got two picks.
I think I'm gonna go him.
Okay, we're going football horror. Jordan Peele produced. Um, it's been marketed like crazy. Um, so that's solid.
Yeah,
And
it just
I mean, it looks different than the other types of horror movies that are coming out. And it's coming out during football season too, which is pretty cool.
yeah, I mean wouldn't say I love this pick, but I actually don't know why I picked it because I think I'm gonna go
Well, I mean, the good thing is you have another pick.
yeah. It seemed like I should have went
Well,
I should
you have two other movies in mind now.
yeah. And I should have I just switched in my head what I was planning on doing, which messes everything up. All right. Oh man. All right, screw it. I'll do my original plan. I'm gonna take Black Phone too. Just
Alrighty.
gonna be the king of horror this year.
You are owning Blumhouse right now. You have
I
a
mean, one of the
stake.
best.
Do you have a stake in like Blumhouse Atomic Monster?
One of them has to be a hit, right?
Yeah.
Have them.
But yeah, you got Five Nights at Freddy's, The Conjuring, and Black Phone 2. And then Him, which
And
is
him.
also a Universal movie. It's Monkey Paw, but it's close enough.
Yeah. If
Yeah, you are dominating in the horror department, which is a
I just
reliable genre, as we know.
I just couldn't. I wanted another movie, but as well, and I should have switched him out for it. That you're now gonna take. Um,
I doubt
but
it.
for some reason, I just
My
couldn't let
next
you
pick
have.
is the most offbeat pick I've ever taken in any draft.
Okay, well, let's
So,
see. Maybe it was what I was eyeing.
this can be such a stupid pick. I'm taking the new Demon Slayer movie. I can't even pronounce it.
Oh shit! Castle one,
Yeah.
whatever castle.
I saw one of them did like 50 something mil in the US. It seems like this one's massive overseas. It's playing in IMAX, getting promoted like crazy. So I feel like this has potential to grow from that one. I hear people talking about it. It's not anything I'm familiar with. But yeah, this Demon Castle Infinity or Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. This is a risky pick for me in the fact that I have zero interest in it. Don't know not an anime person. Don't know what the franchise or why this is potentially going to be big, but it sounds like it got hype behind it. So
Yeah. No, I mean, from what I'm reading right now, it's saying they're projecting $20 to $50 million opening.
yeah, which is a massive difference, and I'm sure it's going to be front loaded. So it really needs to be that $50 million, like needs to be on the higher end. But I thought, I mean, I've heard from people that I was not risky, and I was thinking too much like a studio head in the summer draft. So as always, then I do the complete opposite in the following draft, and
Yeah.
It's failed for me before doing like the exact opposite. But we'll see what happens this time. So yeah, that was not the movie you were going to draft. It sounds like.
No, I know Demon Slayer. I know that one Demon Slayer movie did really well, and then there's been others that haven't gotten as big of a release that haven't done it quite as well, but they still do well.
Yeah.
I haven't been paying close enough attention to know that this was like the big Demon Slayer movie and that it's different than the other Demon Slayer movies that have recently come out. That's the only reason it didn't have my attention.
Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't
All right.
realize people were projecting like it to be a $90 million movie.
Yeah, I didn't see any like final predictions or anything like that, but I figured based on what I've been seeing as far as like openings that it could end up being a movie that makes that much. And the IMAX thing really like just showing it in front of like every movie. Seemingly, I was like, okay, let's take a bold risk when I'm not too confident about a lot of these movies that we're going to be taking in the back half of the draft. All right, and then I doubt you were going to take this movie either. I'm taking Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere.
It's supposed to be a good movie. from what the early
Supposed to be
reviews
a good
are.
movie. Bruce Springsteen is one of the, one of the biggest artists in the world. Still one of the highest selling of all time. He's certainly a newsworthy person. Still, like he's in the news regularly. And I think it looks like it's like as a musical biopic, which they do tend to be hit or miss. It tends to be based on awards buzz, whether they actually perform or not. And it sounds like Jeremy Allen White kills it. And from what I understand, he does his own vocals in the film. It's got Jeremy Strong in it, so it's got a solid cast. Who else is in this one? Paul Walter Hauser, Stephen Graham, Mark Maron, David Krumholtz, Gabby Hoffman. So yeah, and it is dealing with like two of his biggest albums, Nebraska and Born in the USA. Yeah, I thought, why, as someone from New Jersey, why not take The Boss? So yeah, it sounds like you weren't going to take either of those picks. Don't know if you were going to take them anytime later, but they are
I was
movies that I have now.
eyeing it, but maybe a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, you've been burned by music biopics in the past, like Whitney Houston.
Yeah, I was listening, and you did really well with the Bob Marley biopic.
Yeah, but then I was also thinking you did really well last year with A Complete Unknown. So like,
that's my Timmy.
Yeah. So like, they always kind of depend on, I don't know. Again, depends on how much buzz the movie has with festivals and things like that, for the most part.
For sure. All right.
All right. So back to you with 2.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do One Battle After Another.
All right. You got Leo.
I got Leo. I figured, like, I was thinking maybe worst case, this performs like Killers of the Flower Moon. I guess there's a worst case.
Yeah. No, I was thinking he was
like,
gonna do Killers of the Flower Moon numbers,
which
will be like
at this level, I'll take.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking it'll be like PTA's biggest movie, which is currently it's 40 million with There Will Be Blood. But yeah, I think it'll be closer to like Killers of the Flower Moon numbers.
Yeah, so that was kind of where I was thinking with that one. Hopefully, I mean, they've been showing this trailer a lot. I'm hoping maybe it can even surpass Killers, but I was thinking probably perform similarly to Killers, which is still a good domestic box office.
Yeah.
Especially at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
And then if it was still on the board here, I was going to take it. Because
I can see from your smirk, I know what you're taking.
I got to bring Timmy home. Marty Supreme.
Yeah, I was going to be taking one of those movies in my next round.
Marty Supreme.
One Battle.
Okay. Yeah, Timmy's just been good for me, so he does well for me, and that I'm just kind of biased on that. And I think, A24's got faith in this movie. I've got faith in A24. Let's roll. Ping Pong is not sure how many people want to see a ping pong movie, but I didn't want to risk Timmy not being able to be on Wicked's not something I can root for. I can't root for Avatar. At least I got Timmy to root for in the fall.
Yeah, the big thing with my thinking with this was A24 and their highest grossing movies aren't that high. But yeah, I mean, it's a holiday movie. It's gonna have awards buzz, I'm sure. It's not playing any of the festivals, but I mean, if it makes everything everywhere all at once numbers, that's $77 million. That's their highest grossing movie currently. Even if it makes Uncut Gem numbers, which is, I guess, the best comparison since it's a Safdie brother movie, from one of them, that was 50 million. So, yeah, no, it's solid. It was not far down. I had those two movies back to back at one point on my list. But I only would have been able to get one of them based on my next pick. So yeah, no, I mean, I hope both your movies do gangbusters. You got two like movies that were on my most anticipated list of the year.
Yeah, I mean, there was a part of me. I mean, we've been kind of joking like my draft does kind of feel like a Corey draft in some ways because I've got a lot of horror and
This is what you are doing, a Corey draft. 100,
I feel like
110%. I don't know if this was an homage to last fall.
No, it's just the way it's kind of shaken out.
Yeah.
I think the more critically acclaimed movies that I pick, though, I think have a better shot of making money than maybe some of the ones that were picked in the last fall.
Because the actors in them.
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe this will all backfire.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the biggest test of Chalamet's career so far because every movie prior has been either IP or based on a real life person. This is doing it. This is just an original R-rated film from him. But then Leo. If anyone's going to take PTA to the next level, box office wise, it's Leo. He did it with Marty previously. Like, he took him to the next level to finally being a $100 million guy. Even like close to it prior to that with Gangs of New York. The Aviator was the first one to break 100, and he's been pretty consistent ever since then. So with all their collaborations, with the exception of Killers of the Flower Moon, was the only one that didn't make 100. So yeah, I mean, I hope they do. I hope they both kick ass, both as movies and at the box office, because I like to see good movies, and I like to see good movies do well. So all right. With my next one, I'm gonna go with a sequel that I have no interest in seeing, but the movies have performed well. Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
I forgot that was even on the list. I don't think I ranked that one on my.
That makes sense why you did not pick it then. But or potentially makes sense for why you didn't pick it. I don't know if you would have picked it regardless. But going back, I was like, all right, Now You See Me did 117 million. The second one did 65. It's been 9 years since the last one. Hopefully there's some pent up demand and the numbers are somewhere in between the first and second one. But if this even just made 65 million, be very happy. It seems like it should be something that can do numbers like that. Or it's just be shit and I shouldn't have drafted it and should have
I probably would have considered it. I don't know. I didn't rank it, so it's tough, but I literally just forgot to look at this movie. It was probably one of the few on this list that I just forgot to look at. So that's happened before.
Yeah.
With the Beekeeper, and that backfired on me. So I don't know. We'll see. It could do well. A lot of good actors.
Yeah. Yes, it's a kind of like a murderers row ensemble. What do we got? Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, um, Isla Fisher, Dave Franco, Rosamund Pike. Yeah, good cast. All right, and now you're gonna make your well. Technically, this is the movie that I have it like to take in this slot, but this is definitely a Corey homage type of pick, and it's also a fuck you pick to you. So I don't know if you were going to draft it, but I think the odds are very high that you would have taken it with one of your next two
Probably.
picks.
I think I know. I think I know what you're going to take.
I
Go
mean,
ahead. Say it.
by telling you it's a direct fuck you pick and a Corey type of pick. I'm
Yeah.
picking Shelby Oaks for
That's
potential neon breakout horror success. Being by some like a YouTube type of guy making his run. You saw him this or last weekend in New York City in
yeah.
passing. If you didn't talk so much about the movie about that back then, which was totally understandable that you did, because I would have done the same thing if I saw someone that I knew in a public setting out of nowhere. I would have drafted it as well, or I would have been excited and been talking about it as well. But yeah, I watched the trailer today because of you talking about it, and I was like, okay, yeah, nope, I'm buying. I was so yeah, the fact that you hadn't picked it yet, I was like, he's absolutely taking it with one of his last two, based on the horror run you've been on so far, and those other reasons I said. And was I wrong? Were you not going to take it?
I was definitely thinking about it, but now I'm trying to think about how to like the fuck you picks I could do to you on things that
Thankfully,
you probably right.
thankfully, there aren't any real ones left. I have a feeling I know what you're going to think is a fuck you pick and what you're going to take, but yeah, the other two movies probably aren't even on your radar.
You think you know? Yeah, I guess it might be
I know
obvious.
one.
So
I know one. The fuck you pick that you're going to take from it. Um, so you might as well. I mean, you want to start with the fuck you movie?
yeah, sure. I'll do. So for my next pick, I'll do Good Fortune.
Oh, you son of a gun.
Did you know that's the FU pick?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, just because you'll be really mad if it does well, because you're gonna be rooting for this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
I love Aziz, Seth Rogen,
Keanu, like
and comedy. And Keanu and comedy's actually doing well. And this looks like a just. I mean,
looks funny. It
yeah.
actually looks funny too. So I was kind of eyeing it just because I was like, I could do okay. I know comedies don't do well anymore, but if it actually looks kind of funny, people like Keanu, maybe it'll do something.
Yeah, and I mean Seth Rogen is on a roll this year with television between studio and platonic. So I mean he's as in your face as he's been, and being in talked about projects in a very long time. And obviously Keanu is Keanu.
My last and final pick. Um, this is kind of going to be a weird one. I'm going to do Gabby's Dollhouse.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, I did have it like right at the end of my list.
Um, apparently this is like a popular property on Netflix. I don't know if that Netflix translates the
I
box office.
wasn't aware of like what its numbers were or like its popularity, but I could tell that it was based off of something. So that's what it like had my peak my interest in potentially taking it?
I don't know. If I probably could have thought about it for 2 more seconds, I might have picked something completely different. I just kind of started as like, oh, this is popular on Netflix, and now they're doing a movie about it. It's a cartoon. I don't know. I like cartoons apparently right now for box office. So last pick. I don't know. Best case, people rush out to see it. Worst case, no one sees it. I don't know. Doesn't feel like too horrible. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I could see a world where I'd pick something else.
I could see a world where it makes like Ruby Gillman like Teenage Kraken numbers of like $10 million or $20 million, whatever it was. And I could see a world where it makes like a decent amount of money for DreamWorks.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know on this one. It literally just banking on the fact that Netflix, people seem to like it on Netflix.
When I saw the trailer for it in theaters, I go, that was one of the worst looking movies I've ever seen. But again, not remotely the target audience for it. So, all right. All right. My last pick, I did some psychological maneuvering on that one. I did not think you were going to take Good Fortune. That was not the fuck you pick. I respect the pick because it's a movie that I want to see, and I do want to see it do well.
Can I guess what you thought the fuck you pick was going to be?
Yeah.
Because it was probably the other movie that I was eyeing. Is it Keeper?
No.
Okay.
Keeper, for whatever, it was right in that like Gabby's Dollhouse area.
Okay.
But I think that one looks a little too dark.
Okay.
Compared to like Osgood Perkins' last two movies. So that was ultimately why I didn't have it on here. There's one that like I feel like probably should, like it's probably safer, but I'm going with the one that I thought you were going to take.
I think I know.
You can. You can. Yeah, guess it. Go for it.
Smashing Machine.
That's correct. Okay. Taking the Rock Safdie brother movie. It's easily got the bigger hook with MMA than Marty Supreme. But I did have Marty Supreme higher on my rankings because of the Christmas release. And Timmy right now is just on a roll,
so hot right now,
while The Rock is not on a roll. If I have to guess, this will be a movie that makes most of its money right away. But it's in an early October spot, and it has a lot of similar competition. Like I don't like that it's right around one battle after another. Roofman, a movie that neither of us picked, which I would have liked to have picked, but it just there's too many movies of a similar vein around that, like this late September, early October period, where I couldn't even I didn't even include it on my list, or even like the right below list. But yeah, I think the Smashing Machine they'll probably push the hell out of it with UFC. And even WWE. They're owned by the same company, so both those companies are going to be marketing the hell out of this. But yeah, it certainly has a ceiling because again, it's an A24 movie. I think the probably ceiling is it's probably like Uncut Gem numbers, like 50 million. So I think the ceiling for Marty Supreme is ultimately higher because of the holidays. But yes, I thought you were going the fuck you because we were talking about taking all my most anticipated movies. I did have Good Fortune on it. I did have The Smashing Machine on it, Marty Supreme. So when you did Good Fortune and or when you did and I had one battle after another on it. And yeah, you got all my most anticipated movies that I didn't draft for the fall, other than Avatar, which you didn't have the option of taking because I took it first.
Yeah, and Avatar.
But yeah, I hope you have a great like box office season.
Yeah,
Because you have a lot that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. So I mean, do we want to talk a little bit about what we haven't drafted, and then we can just do a quick recap?
Yeah, certainly.
So things that we didn't draft that I think were interesting to me, and definitely on my list, is that they'll probably make some money. Hamilton re-release for the 10-year.
Yeah, because I mentioned all the re-releases right from the start because there were a decent amount of them on the list.
Yeah, and there were some that like Hamilton. So we had Hamilton, which was the 10-year, which I know we're calling it. You called it a re-release, but it's never actually got released in theaters.
Yeah.
So it
It's more of like an event, like an event type of release for something that people have seen on streaming. I guess it's more similar to that K-pop movie in that regard.
Yeah. But yeah, and similar to the K-pop, I think had they given this IMAX and like a bigger theatrical release, I could see a world where I would have taken Hamilton. I think it was just the low theater count that worried me.
Low theater count, no premium stuff.
Yeah.
Only being announced so shortly before its release.
Yeah, but I could see a world where I would have been interested in that one. Okay, now moving on to like the true re-releases, we have Toy Story
30th anniversary,
which I had to look up because I was like, is there a new Toy Story movie coming out this year?
No, next year.
Yeah. Avatar: The Way of Water, getting people, similar to with the first Avatar movie, although less of a gap, but getting people to go see that want to re-see Way of Water before they go see the new.
Would Corey have drafted it?
I don't know. I know he like.
We would have had 4 more movies to select. I think he probably would have taken at least one re-release this time.
Yeah, he got burned so bad by how high he took that first Avatar release.
Based on where he took it. If he had taken it way later in the draft, it wouldn't have been a bad pick.
Yeah. I don't know. Casper is another re-release. That one was kind of interesting to me because I don't remember.
That's a 30th anniversary one.
That one seemed like it had a little bit of a cult following. I don't know. That one was kind of interesting to me. Casper. I just don't know enough about how many people are looking forward to that. I
figured it could do like Hocus Pocus, like Nightmare Before Christmas numbers like last year.
Corpse Bride.
Yeah, which 20th anniversary.
Talking about things that are Nightmare Before. No, I don't think.
Yeah, stop motion with Tim Burton's involvement.
Yeah. What else we got? We got Back to the Future re-released.
40th anniversary. And Apollo 13 also.
Yeah, Apollo 13.
30th anniversary.
So lots of re-releases. We drafted none of them. I think.
I think it's a good sign for the box office is that fact that like we didn't consider taking a re-release. So yeah.
Other things we didn't touch that were interesting to me. Downton Abbey, the grand finale.
That was in my top 20, and that there were 2 movies, 19 and 20, in my top 20. Well, I guess there was a 21 that was selected also because we included Wicked at one point. So yeah, these were. Yeah.
I kind of had it. I wrote 30 to 60 next to it.
That sounds about right. I think it's probably a safer pick than some of the ones we've taken.
Yeah, but as our friend Dan would say, fortune favors the bold. So
Yeah, that's why I ultimately took Smashing Machine over. Because I didn't have Smash. I had Smashing Machine at 18 and Downton Abbey at 19. But I was tempted to do Downton Abbey just because. So it was like, it feels safer.
Yeah, no, it definitely is safer than some of the picks we did. I think The Long Walk is interesting.
The
Stephen King movie
adaptation.
Yeah, I was eyeing that. I wrote 30 to 40 next to it. I don't know where I got these numbers from.
Yeah, I mean, kind of what you're just thinking. That's with projections. A Big Bold Beautiful Journey was the other one I had on my list that I had that at 20 that we didn't take with Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I thought the casting was good. It just like the trailer didn't do anything to like hook me.
Yeah. I could just see they're both likable people, and I could just see people migrating to the movies based on that. And it's got a fantastical premise. So, on top of being a romance type movie.
Yeah,
but they've been marketing more of the fantastical elements, which is smart.
What else did I think was interesting? I thought The Strangers, the first one didn't make that much money. I don't know.
Yeah, it made 35.
Yeah, obviously they see something in that movie franchise.
Well, they filmed the 3 movies straight, back to back to back.
Okay, well, that explains that,
so,
I guess.
The Strangers Chapter 3 will be coming out next year.
Okay. I didn't know that. That makes a little bit more sense. Keeper we talked about just because Osgood Perkins I thought was interesting.
Yeah, same here.
Nuremberg I thought looked kind of like an interesting movie. It skews heavy on adult, I would guess, with Russell Crowe and Rami Malek.
I immediately turned it like I want to see it, but immediately crossed it off my list without even thinking.
Anna Monet I thought looked interesting. I don't know if there's like people are clamoring for Daniel Day-Lewis.
His big return, the theaters, the movies.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's gonna create a pop at all or not.
I don't think it will because his son's directing it. Like if it was him returning to work with a big director, yes, it would be. I think a big deal, much bigger deal.
That's kind of where I was leaning to. The Housemaid I thought looked interesting. Sydney Sweeney, apparently based on a book series that was popular.
Her and Amanda Seyfried from Paul Feig. I thought that could potentially break out around the holidays. But I mean, there's the 2 movies that she just had come out were both really weren't marketed to be successful, like Eden and Americana. So I wouldn't blame those on her at all and her box office ability. It's like blaming Pedro Pascal for Freaky Tales or some other ones. Some movies just aren't made to make money. But this one seems like it should.
Anything else on your list that you just thought were interesting that we haven't talked about?
I should mention Begonia because that was the only other movie on my most anticipated list I didn't take. But I feel like it just looks more
not going to make money.
It's on the weird Yorgos side, like too weird Yorgos side, compared to like Poor Things or The Favorite, even. As far as box office is concerned, I think this will be more on the Kinds of Kindness box office level. So yeah.
Even his like more mainstream like box office wise, they don't go that high. With,
no, I mean, Poor Things was probably the highest one. Poor Things made only 34. Maybe The Favorite made more. The Favorite made 34. Okay, so he's got a ceiling. Both of those Emma Stone, Yorgos Lanthimos combinations. Maybe this at best case makes around 34. What Kinds of Kindness make? Definitely a lot less. Kinds of Kindness only made 5 million. So yeah, maybe this will make like 20 to 30. What else? Regretting You was one that I was originally considering taking.
Which one was
So
that?
it's the from Colleen Hoover, an adaptation of her book. She wrote the one that was the big Blake Lively one last year.
Oh, okay.
It Ends With Us. But I was so burnt by Allison Williams and Megan 2.0 earlier this summer. I'm like, I can't do it again. Another movie with her as the lead.
Yeah.
Her and Dave Franco, McKenna Grace, and the kid from Black Phone 2. But it was one that I was certainly considering at one point. It's on the short list of movies that I didn't put in my top 21 movies. Yeah, other than that, I mean, you got a Bradley Cooper directed movie, but he's only a co-star, so I don't think it's going to do that great.
The Will Arnett movie.
The Will Arnett movie. James L. Brooks has.
Is this thing on? Right? Is that the name of that movie?
Is this thing on? James L. Brooks has a new movie, but I don't think his name really means much at this point in his career. Since he hasn't had he was on a great run until is as good as it gets, but that was 1997. Since then, he had Spanglish and another bomb with Owen Wilson, Reese Witherspoon, and Jack Nicholson and Paul Rudd. I can't remember the name at the moment. And then, yeah, anything else that I thought was interesting?
The other thing, I didn't think it was necessarily going to make money, but I thought the trailer looked kind of interesting. Was that an eternity movie?
Oh yeah,
yeah. No. 24. The trailer had a decent amount of views.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of seemed like a fun concept.
Yeah, and then there were some festival movies.
Oh yeah, there was a ton of festival stuff.
Hey, what were you going to say though about Eternity? Look kind of like what?
I was just going to say it kind of looked like kind of like a comedy.
Yeah,
fun comedy about death.
Yeah. Spinal Tap 2 is another sequel, but I think it's definitely
not going to make any money.
Definitely has a cap. It's not being released by a major enough studio where it would make money. Even though the first one is so well known. Yeah, Hamnet just made a big had a big splash at a festival from Chloe Zhao, but the director of Nomadland, but I heard it's bleak as hell, so it was nope. And it's produced by Amblin and Steven Spielberg. But yeah, it's nah, I'm not touching that. Die My Love with Jennifer Lawrence is one I've heard really good things about, but again, bleak as hell topic. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really good movies that I would have liked. That Roofman is probably one of the ones that it's a funny looking movie that I would have liked to have taken, but the competition around it. It's the Channing Tatum one. The competition around it was just too much.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Where I think it'll be swallowed. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think really anything else to touch upon as far as movies. A lot of movies I want to see. A couple of one Richard Linklater movie. The other one's going to Netflix.
My process, because I didn't have a ton of time to prepare, was generally I would turn on the trailer and it would say if it started with Cannes Film Festival or some sort of film festival in its intro, I was nope, next movie. Or if it played how independent movies they
I wouldn't have worked for Parasite back in the day.
No, I would not have. I just needed something quick to be is this a mainstream movie or not? Or how independent movies kind of have this music that do they have the same kind of opening to all their trailers?
Yeah.
Anytime that music would kick in and the whatever shot that seems, I was just nope, next movie.
I get it. I hear you.
Because I just needed a quick way to be is this for mainstream audiences or not? Or are they targeting people that are
Yeah,
more
or is
into
it
like
an art house movie?
yeah, is it an more art, like targeting a different type of audience member?
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, no,
there,
we're going for general audiences with these drafts.
yep.
Um, so, um, yeah, I don't think there's anything to add as far as that. So I guess we'll just do a recap. Um, I had the number one pick, so we'll go with my movies first. I drafted Avatar, Fire and Ash, Tron, Ares, Anaconda, The Running Man, Predator, Badlands, Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle, Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, Shelby Oaks, and The Smashing Machine. Um,
It's really solid. I feel like I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
yeah, I'm mostly happy. Shelby Oaks, I think, is a little risky. I am annoyed I didn't get Marty Supreme. I'm not gonna lie about that. Um, like that or one battle after another. Um, I mean, SpongeBob is the one I definitely most annoyed I didn't get. But yeah, I mean, it's a little risky, but I mean, Anaconda, like we said, is risky just because we haven't had any trailers or anything. Um,
But it feels like you have
Now You See Me,
that
Now You
feels
Don't could be something that just like nobody cares about at all who watched it back in the day. Um, but
yeah.
what were you thinking? I have what?
It kind of yours kind of feels like my normal draft. Like you've got a lot of franchise properties that are known that are good. Like I don't know that's a draft that I would be happy with if I were you, or if I was in that
For the
situation.
most part, yeah, I'd say for the most part, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Uh, Yours, you had Zootopia 2, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Oh my man, this really is like Corey's last year. Can we go through all the twos and then um Black Black Phone? I'm gonna go out of order. Black Phone 2. Uh, okay, that was the only other two. But all right, back to in the order. Zootopia 2, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, The Conjuring Last Rites, SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants, him, Black Phone 2, One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, Good Fortune, and Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. Yeah, it's definitely more of a Corey draft. Um, you got a lot of franchises. There's no
Right.
doubt about that. It just a lot of them are horror. With Five Nights at Freddy's, Black Phone 2, and Conjuring Last Rites. Uh, you've got some potential breakouts with One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme. More horror with him. Um, Massive movies with Zootopia 2. SpongeBob could be a really solid pick. I was so as far as your draft, I was surprised you went as high as you did with Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and The Conjuring and him. All three of those, I was kind of shocked to varying levels of degree based on where I had it in my rankings. And even Black Phone
Yeah.
2 to a degree. Even
Yeah.
though
I mean,
I think Black Phone 2 was in the best, the one of those four that you took in the best spot, like where it probably will end up. Um, like I'm surprised you took him above that. And granted, they were back to back picks.
yeah. I mean,
You
it was
you
back to back.
this was one of your more surprising drafts for me, to be honest. With like where you took movies and what movies you took. Um, More so where you took them.
Yeah. I think Conjuring box office numbers looked good to me. That's kind of why I took it.
Yeah.
Where I did Five Nights at Freddy's. like I said, I kind of coming off of Halloween Horror Nights, and just there seems to be still a lot of love for that franchise.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
for all we know, it's going to do better than the first one.
I mean, if it does better than the first one, obviously I would be thrilled because the first one did like 130 or something, right?
Yeah, I should know a reason why I was not going for these Blumhouse movies is because they've been on such like a they haven't had a hit in a while, and that I feel like these movies are safer though, Black Phone 2 and Five Nights at Freddy's 2. But like, I'm like, why is all your stuff doing like really bad lately? And that definitely played a part in where I placed movies in my top 20.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of going off of. I honestly felt better about Five Nights at Freddy's, where there's a number of games that they're following. So there's people are. It's not like they're just kind of pulling source material out of the air. So
Yeah,
people are excited, I would think, that are fans of this franchise to see the additional stories play out or the additional stories from the games play out. So to me, that one should do okay. Black Phone 2, I just like that kind of felt like the movie was like resolved by the end of the first one. So it's like,
but it also feels like it's filling a gap in where Nightmare on Elm Street stopped being made
yeah,
because
I don't.
it's dealing with like the dead slasher guy who's tormenting or killing kids, abusing kids or whatever, and now he's like doing it from beyond the grave and seemingly in dreams as well. So I feel like that's filling a void, which is a good thing.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Obviously, like that costume that Ethan Hawke wears seems like it's gotten pretty iconic.
Yeah.
I see it like a lot, like Halloween Horror Nights and stuff. I've seen it a lot. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I could be biased, just like I said, from going to Halloween Horror Nights and seeing all these things and seeing people crazy for them. Um, but yeah, I don't know. In hindsight, I mean, I would have preferred if I wasn't so horror heavy, but we'll see.
Yeah, and then I guess Shelby Oaks was definitely like my biggest risk. I feel like I probably could have taken a movie that's guaranteed to make. I definitely could have taken a movie that's guaranteed to make more. It's just, I think I was just angry at you at that point in time. After you, I after you took PTA, Leo, Timmy, and Safety. Uh, so, and I knew you were going to take Marty Shroom at some point if you got the chance because of Timmy. That's why when you smirked, I'm like, okay, well, Marty Supreme's the pick here. Um, and I had made this. I shouldn't have mentioned him like
It was on
the
my radar anyway, but I knew you were like,
very shortly before I had mentioned him, and I was like, "Fuck me." If it wasn't on his radar, it is now. Just for tradition, it's like Corey taking re-releases. You take Timothy Chalamet movies. The only thing is, it works for you. um,
yeah. I mean,
but
I think I I was concerned that
and
you,
Demon Slayer is a
I
risk. I probably could have gone safer and taken either one battle after another Marty Supreme instead of Demon Slayer
it
in
doesn't
that
seem
same
like that big of a risk though.
round where I took Springsteen. Um, I don't know. I think it's gonna be close. I don't know if it's like it's gonna have to go into. Actually, yeah, you know what? It's gonna definitely probably have to go into
I mean,
January
we have so many
because
holiday
so many
movies.
of them come out at the end of the year. Um, like I don't think we took any ones that are going to open limited on at this year, but we have a lot that open at Christmas. Um,
Yeah.
so it may come down to what has legs in January, um, or how many films we have that have legs in January. But yeah, I think overall it's competitive, uh, which is a good thing. And I feel better. I personally feel better about my draft this time than I did in the summer. How about you? Do you feel better or worse, or the
I
same?
definitely feel worse about this one. I wish I got Avatar. I should have just taken the first pick, but whatever. Is what it
Yeah, like
is.
in the summer draft, I had like that sinking feeling right after like the draft ended, where I'm like, yeah, I lost. Like this season doesn't really even need to start. I kind of just already know it. Um,
Yeah, I don't know that I feel like I lost, but I I would prefer not to be as heavy into horror as I am. I
yeah,
think it worked out the way that you kind of steered away from the horror, which forced me to take the horror that I had higher on my list. Um, so
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, there were a couple ones where like we waited, like they wouldn't have gotten back to you in the next round. Um, Black Phone, definitely. You wouldn't have gotten it back in the next round if you didn't take it where you did. Five Nights at Freddy's as well. Um, so yeah, I had it at the very end of my list. It was on my in my 20, like 21 or something. Um, but
yeah.
and
I think so.
Conjuring I had around like 7 or 8. Um, so I guess you wouldn't have gotten it the next go around either.
Yeah,
Because
so
you
it seems like him was the one that I reached the most on from
Yes,
where you had
definitely.
things. Yeah.
As far as movies from, yeah, I think you reached the most on. I would agree with that. And what movie did you think I reached the most on? Anaconda, which is kind of a worse situation because I took it at 5 versus you taking him at 10.
Yeah, maybe Anaconda. Because I don't think I would have. I think it would have made it back around to you
Like
again.
in
Because I
like
don't.
in the next rapper, like
Yeah,
a couple picks later. Yeah.
because I just there were too many. I thought it was a good sleeper pick, but to me, like I wasn't willing to take it that high because of the concerns.
Yeah.
Um, so I definitely had it as a sleeper, and I was eyeing it similar to you because I just saw Jack Black and Paul Rudd talking about Anaconda, and I was like, this could be a hit.
Hmm.
But I was also like, why is there no trailer or footage of anything related to this movie? Um, so that was concerning to me. But
Yeah.
that's sometimes I'm too cautious when it comes to that, right? Because we had that happen with the Untitled Universal horror movie and
What movie would did that end up being?
Abigail.
Um, Abigail. Abigail is. Oh yes, yes, yes. I had Annabelle in my head. Oh yeah, we had that with Abigail. Yeah, where that did
Where
come
there,
out.
Corey drafted
Um,
it, and it was I was like, I'm not taking anything that's not even titled yet. And then
yeah,
like I think that same week they announced like, oh, it's Abigail. Here's the trailer. And I was like,
yeah,
God
and then
damn it.
we had a bunch where I was too cautious in the end in that strike, like season
Oh
two
yeah,
2 years ago, fall of 2023, where I was way too cautious about movies, and you got a nice W that time, because you were just like, no, I'm gonna go with the movies, and hopefully they come out, and you did very well for that. So,
yep.
all right, cool. Well, I guess we'll start seeing how things do in our next episode because Conjuring comes out this weekend. That's the first movie that either of us selected that is out, and it's out in within a week. After that, I don't think we have anything until him or Demon Slayer. They might come out the same day, and then one battle after another. That's like I think those are all the September movies. If I'm not mistaken. When's Gabby's Dollhouse come out anyway?
I don't know. I barely know what that is.
um,
I just heard it was
it comes
popular
out
on
this month.
Netflix.
It comes out this month also, but it has no kid competition. So okay, all right,
So
cool. Nothing else to say about summer or about fall, right?
Nope.
All right, so let's talk very briefly about the summer box office, and then we will wrap up. So we've got the box office totals through Thursday, August 28th. All we have to do is go through the next 3 days after that for the Labor Day weekend. Once the numbers are done, and then we can officially crown Doug our winner. But he is most certainly our winner. All of our movies have been released, and you've got a solid differential right now of 1.69 billion to 1.28 billion, so about $400 million, give or take, above me. You're going to continue to build on that lead because Weapons is continuing to make money, and yeah, I mean, it's still going to be the number one movie at the box office this weekend. And you still have other movies that are making money, like little bits, but like The Bad Guys 2, Fantastic Four, Superman, F1. And the only movie I really have making any money at this point is Freakier Friday. But yeah, we'll dive, rather than get into going over all of the movies all over again and where they're at. I mean, really the only thing to note is, since our last episode was Weapons was a great pick, and ended up being another solid horror film from Warner Brothers for you this summer. You started with Final Destination Bloodlines and ended with Weapons, and those were two major reasons why you won, alongside Warner Brothers with F1. Those were the three, and you had just a Warner Brothers summer with Superman as well. So, yeah, and I think since our last episode, the last episode where we talked about the box office, Bad Guys 2 came out and did well, and Smurfs probably had come out before that for me and didn't do well, along with I Know What You Did Last Summer. So a lot of crappy IP for me this summer, or disappointing IP. And but I'll look forward to talking more about Fantastic Four and like where we drafted the movies versus how they actually did and everything in our next episode. But anything you want to add as far as the summer box office before we end? Basically, really any updates from August?
No, I think we'll cover it in our next episode. We'll do a deep dive.
Perfect. All right, then that's a wrap for today. This has been Doug and Murph at Live Breathe Film, signing off.